All right, today we're diving into something that's a real game changer in veterinary medicine. We're talking about a powerful new way to treat malignant melanoma in dogs, and it's a dual approach that is really shaking things up. So let's just jump right into this because it's a question that, unfortunately, a lot of pet owners have to ask. With a cancer as aggressive as melanoma, you'd think removing the tumor would be it, right? But the reality is, that's often just the start of the fight. It's really just the beginning. See, to really win this thing, you've got to think of it like a war on two fronts. It's just not enough to go on an all-out attack against the cancer itself. You absolutely have to strengthen and defend your own forces. We're talking about the body's healthy cells to make sure they can actually hold the line and survive the battle. Okay, so let's talk about that first front, the attack. This is our offensive move. It's all about going right after the cancer cells, using this really smart metabolic therapy that's designed to just dismantle the tumor's whole stronghold from the inside. And this therapy is honestly incredibly clever. It's a two-step attack. First, it cuts off the cancer's energy supply. It basically starves the cells. And then, at the same time, it starts breaking down the tumor's physical defenses, which is crucial for making our other treatments effective. So here's the deal with step one. Cancer cells are just insanely hungry for energy. They gobble up glucose and fatty acids to grow like crazy. Well, this therapy comes in and blocks the pathways for both of those fuel sources. It's like cutting off the enemy's supply lines completely. No fuel, no growth. The cells just start to die off. Okay, now let's talk about something called interstitial fluid pressure, or IFP. This is a really interesting concept. The best way to think about it is that the tumor is like this high-pressure fortress. It's literally pushing outward. So when you send in your troops, the chemotherapy drugs, that intense internal pressure just deflects them. It acts like a powerful, invisible shield. And this is where that second step of the metabolic therapy becomes a total game changer. By messing with the tumor's metabolism, it actually lowers that internal pressure. It reduces the IFP. It's literally like demolishing the fortress walls. Suddenly, the chemotherapy can get through, penetrate deep inside the tumor, and actually do its job. But like we said, a powerful attack is only half the battle, right? That brings us to the second front, which is just as important. We have to defend and resuscitate the body's normal, healthy cells. And that's where this herbal hydration therapy comes in. So this defensive move has two main jobs. First, you can think of it as the cleanup crew for the battlefield. It gets rid of all the toxic junk left over from the fight. And second, it goes to work resuscitating the good guys, hydrating and strengthening the healthy cells so they can bounce back. And you really can't overstate how important this detox step is. I mean, when chemotherapy is working and cancer cells are dying off, they create a lot of toxic waste. That stuff puts a huge strain on the body, especially the liver and kidneys. So this therapy helps flush all that out. The result? It protects those vital organs, yeah, but it also really cuts down on those awful side effects like fatigue and nausea. It just gives the patient the strength to keep going. Now, here's a huge challenge that we don't always think about: cellular dehydration. And I'm not just talking about being thirsty. The incredible stress of cancer and its treatments literally sucks the moisture out from inside the body cells. They become these weak, shrunken things that just can't do their job. So how do you fix that? Well, the therapy uses this really cool moisture lock mechanism. It's not about just drinking more water. This is way more sophisticated. It actually helps shuttle moisture and vital minerals directly into the dehydrated cell. And then, and this is the key part, it helps the cell membrane regulate itself to lock that moisture inside. And that right there, that locking action, is what makes this whole thing work. It's considered the single most important pharmacological mechanism here. It's not just about temporary hydration. It's about creating a stable, hydrated environment inside the cell so it can finally heal and get its strength back. Okay, so we've got the attack and we've got the defense. How do they work together? Well, this is where you get this incredible synergy. It's not just 1 + 1 = 2. The two strategies actually make each other stronger, creating this combined force that pushes toward victory. This table really breaks it down beautifully. So you take a big problem, right, like chemo resistance. The offense, the metabolic therapy, tackles that by breaking down the tumor's defenses. But then look at what the defense does. By keeping the normal cells healthy, it allows the body to handle the chemo better in the first place. Or take toxic side effects. Here, the defense is the star, flushing out all that gunk and producing nausea. Meanwhile, the offense is free to focus on its main job, killing cancer cells. You can see how they perfectly complement each other. And this isn't just stuff that looks good on paper. This synergy leads to real, tangible changes in the dog's quality of life. We're talking about things you can actually see: less panting and distress, getting their appetite back, their coat looks better, and maybe most importantly, they have more energy and stamina to just be a dog, even while they're going through all this. So, what we're really looking at here is a brand new strategy, a whole new way of thinking. It's not just another weapon in the arsenal, it's a completely different and, frankly, more hopeful way to look at the battle against cancer. It's about moving past just attacking the tumor and instead supporting the entire patient. It all comes down to this: combining these really precise attacks on the cancer cells with this powerful, deep resuscitation of the healthy cells. When you do that, the whole fight changes. It stops being a brutal war of attrition and becomes a smarter, more strategic battle. It's about building resilience from within so you can actually win the long-term war. And I think the biggest takeaway from all of this is a really powerful idea: that the power to protect the body's own cells is every bit as important as the power to kill cancer. True victory, then, isn't just about destroying the disease. It's about preserving and strengthening the very life you're fighting so hard to save. And that really changes everything.